Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, the Flamin' Hot Grilled Cheese Burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Refreshing and goes down smooth. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
How's your day going?
Going good. Thank you again.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
Hey Bronco Nation, this is Shannon Keegren with Boise State Softball. Summer in Idaho is the best time of year. Rodeos, camping trips, and the hikes that end in views you'll never forget. At Lithia Ford of Boise, we're here to get you there. With a team known for incredible customer service, the best new and pre-owned inventory, and a commitment to making your experience easy, friendly, and fast. But here's the best part. Every purchase here helps support Boise State Athletics through their NIL partnerships and athletic sponsorships. See you soon at Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN broadcasts come from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. Crack open a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise, and our major sponsors, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, RoadPaint.com, and the Blue and Orange Store. At Lithia Ford of Boise, we're proud to stand with Boise State Athletics. Through our NIL marketing partnerships, we're investing in the future of student athletes. Lithia Ford of Boise, here to get you there, wherever that may be. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho. Broadcasting from the Sun Cruiser Studios, here's BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Let's go. What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday to you here at Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com. I'm in the Sun Cruiser Studios. Bronco Nation News, as always, our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise. Wearing the Lithia Ford of Boise hat. They're in the Lithia Ford of Boise studios. got to check the calendar here. Is it Wednesday? I wish it was Friday, but it's unfortunately only Wednesday. Mike Prater moving the schedule around, nice enough to join us on a Wednesday. And Mike, always good to catch up with you. We got plenty to talk about in the Boise State sports world today. So how we doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing today, BJ? It's fun to be here on a Wednesday. Something a little bit different. Sorry for people that were expecting BJ by himself, and sorry that I won't be there on Friday. But it's a good way to start off a Wednesday, right?
We've both got some haters out there. I'm not sure what they'd prefer, me by myself or us together, or having to watch you or me. I'm not sure, but we'll get through for the next 45 minutes or so. And I always tell people it's a free show. You're not required to watch. So, we're excited. A lot of folks coming in. Our man Billy always checking in from Minnesota. Archie is on a picnic in Carolina. So I don't know if you've ever had someone play there watching you all on a picnic. Well, what's the menu there? What are you having? But Deborah says good morning. And Deborah Grant, the pain from a total knee replacement calls for a Sun Cruiser this morning. All right, Wednesday morning Sun Cruiser. I like it, Deborah. Good luck on the knee replacement there. You ever had to do anything like that, Mike?
No, I have not. Shoulder surgery, and we got some things brewing tomorrow, which is why I'm here. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit later on as we all get old. We're replacing body parts, and it's going to happen. So good luck to everybody who's replacing body parts out there.
I love it, phrase like that. Oh, we got plenty to discuss. Kage Casey is a rich man. We got a new commit for the football team. We are 1 week away from the TV schedule coming out for the football team 1 week from today. A lot of different things to talk about. And I'm wearing this Circa sports hat also, Mike Prater, for a reason today. I will just mention that a little bit later on the show as well. But did want to start with our countdown. 26 most important players to the Boise State football team in 2026. I believe, Mike, you helped us kick it off with number 26 last Friday. We had our honorable mention guys, and then we got into number 26. And unfortunately, you're 0 for 2 so far on talking special teams on your first two appearances here. We had Oscar Doyle last Friday when you joined, and the way it works out for number 23 today is going to be Colton Boomer, the kicker. I do think there's much more interesting discussion around Colton Boomer, though, and the confidence level that you and I and Bronco Nation have or should have in him going into the season. But we had Jake Ripp as number 25. That came out. That was our discussion. Jake Ripp was number 24. That was our discussion yesterday. And then we had Jason Steele, the left guard, on Monday with Brad Bedell. And like I said, this list, Mike, it's not exactly right. We're moving it around a little bit. So like Brad Bedell can talk more offensive linemen. So maybe if we had a guy that was 17, we move him to 19 if it falls on a Monday or something like that. And guys that I think Mike Prater would enjoy talking about maybe a little more than others. So we did shift the list around. It's not a scientific, this guy is 100% more important than this guy because he's one spot higher. But when I was making this list, I don't think I knew you were coming on a Wednesday, but I think you have some thoughts on Colton Boomer, and I'm excited to hear those. And we were at practice all spring. We obviously saw what Colton Boomer did last year. We can get into some of the numbers, but here in a minute and some of the specifics. But number 23, most important player going into 2026 on the BNN list. And I guess at first thought, is that too high, too low? Where are you on Colton Boomer heading into 2026?
I think it's probably about right now. The problem here is that's way too low for a kicker on a football team. I don't care if he's a kicker. That's way too low. And the reason why he's so low is I think there's some skepticism and concern about Colton Boomer, and we'll talk about that throughout here. But yeah, you probably want your kicker to be a little bit more of a valuable weapon than the 23rd best player on your team, maybe somewhere around 15 to 20. Probably seems like a sweet spot for me when it comes to a valuable kicker. I think in this particular case, Colton Boomer's, he's kind of a placeholder. He's okay. I don't grow gray hairs when he steps up to kick a ball, but I certainly have some issues, and we'll talk about those issues. So it's probably about right for where his skill set is and the accomplishments and his production over the years at both UCF and Boise State.
Now we go into the season last year, and you remember, I mean, there was he missed a lot of fall camp, obviously with an injury, comes back and in a home game early in the season, essentially gets benched. And Kanan Moore comes in, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, is there going to be a change already in this big UCF transfer they brought in? And here's this no-name true freshman walk-on Kanan Moore, and he missed a 46-yarder and had an extra point blocked against Eastern Washington
Yeah.
It was Colton Boomer I'm talking about. And Moore got in there in the second quarter. He went 4 for 4 on extra points, 1 of 2 on field goals. And if you remember, they had a bye week after that. They said, we're going to get back to a little competition here and pick a kicker. And they went with Kanan Moore, and he ended up, they went with Colton Boomer, and obviously he was solid. He was 43 of 43 on extra points, 11 of 14 for field goals the rest of the way, 7 for 7 on field goals inside of 40 yards. And, basically when they got down to that 20-yard line, Mike Prater, he was pretty much automatic as you should be on a field goal of that distance. But, and again, the article, all the stats, I don't want to get too much into it. We do want people to pay and subscribe at BroncoNationNews.com. And so I won't get into too many of the analytics and all that, but you can read. And if you are a subscriber, you can read the full story that accompanies each of these guys every day on the website. The article on Colton Boomer is up right now. But as Nathan Carroll notes in the article here, he was only 4 of 8 on kicks of 40 yards or longer, Mike Prater. And specifically, when you look at kicks from 40 to 49 yards, he was only 1 of 5. And I guess the numbers say you should make a kick 70% of the time when you're an FBS kicker from 40 to 49 yards. He was 3 of 5 he made some beyond 50 yards, but that 40 to 49 range, just 1 of 5, 73.3% overall. That was 95th amongst kickers with at least 10 attempts. So the 95th most accurate kicker last year. Again, only had didn't have a ton of attempts, but again, what do you make of the accuracy and what we saw, I guess, last year from Colton Boomer before we move forward here?
Certainly feel better about it now, just based on what you said and based on the way he finished last year. There's still a lot of red flags here, and you look at his overall career. He was spectacular. He was automatic at UCF, including the game winner against Boise State on the blue turf. So that's how we all remember him. And I think he was
5 field goals in that game, 4 or 5 field goals?
I think he was 4 of 5, if I remember right, in that game or something like that. And I think he was like 14 of 15 for the whole season. So not a lot of productivity, but he was really, really, really good. And then you just saw the steady decline, and then the health issues came in, and then you saw the big blow up of how successful and how good he was. Colton Boomer is born with the right last name because he's got a boomer of a leg. I mean, the length of this guy's leg or the power and the strength of this guy's leg is absolutely fantastic. Although the longest field goal I think he's ever had is 52 or 53. That probably doesn't have anything to do with anything but just opportunities. He was a touchback guy last year, and I know 2 years ago, that was a major, major issue, as it should have been. Touchback should be the almost automatic play in college football, almost 100%. Spencer Danielson wants 100% success rate when it comes to touchbacks, and it was terrible 2 years ago. Colton Boomer came in last year and made it better, although it wasn't anywhere close to as good as it could be, and it tailed off later on in the season as well. So maybe there's some strength issues. Maybe there's some stamina issues. There's definitely some accuracy issues. I'm really, really concerned about his accuracy. That 40 to 49 spot where he was 1 for 5 last year, that's very scary. 3 for 3 from 50 plus. So You know he can do it. I just think it's inconsistencies right now. So he needs to be consistent this year. He needs to be steady and dependable. I think this is his last year. He's done with college football. He's your veteran leader. He's been in Boise now for a couple of years. This is the kind of year where you just need to be steady because I think he's got the skill set. Maybe it's a little bit upstairs, but the accuracy issue certainly scares me. We saw some of that in spring camp too. Some of the accuracy issues where he had a couple of bad days.
Again, when I walk out to watch a practice and I'm 10 feet from the goalpost and I somehow end up catching a kick, that's not typically a great sign. Sometimes, but and you look at some of the other numbers that you're talking about, Mike. As I said, he was 73.3% overall, but when you throw in the fact that over half his attempts came from over 40 yards and distance and all that, Pro Football Focus puts all these crazy analytical numbers together. 82.5 was his overall grade. That was 55th nationally. It essentially made him his season was an average college kicker season when you put it all, together in terms of what the numbers say. An average season, 55th, an average college kicker season, missed a couple, had the extra points. He was an average kicker last year overall when you grade it. And so I guess for fans in the chat, do you have any concern about him? Are we making a big deal about it? You didn't see spring ball where there were some struggles, so maybe that changes it a little. But how do you feel overall about Colton Boomer having a game-winning kick for you next year? And how do you feel? Let us know in the chat. And I will mention, you mentioned the touchbacks. Mike, and that was a big issue that they were trying to boot the ball out of the end zone. 64 of his 78 kicks were touchbacks last year, 82%. In 2024, as you're talking about, they were only 41% on touchbacks. They improved that under Colton Boomer in 2025 from 41% to 82% on touchbacks, which is some of those hidden yardage and special teams that you're talking about and things like that. And so that was one area. They finished 22nd in kickoff grade. Boomer did. That was the number one kickoff grade in the Mountain West. And so in that area, yes, he helped. But remember, only the Utah State game came within 3 points. The kicking game really didn't come down to any huge, kicks at the end of the game last year. At some point, that is going to come back to it. And so, yeah, in terms of having to win them or lose them a game, maybe he should be a little higher on this list. But he's going to be a very intriguing spot here. And Skyship says, does Prater think Kanan is going to push Boomer for the starter? Is there any real competition here? Is this Boomer's to lose? Because we knew nothing about this Kanan Moore kid coming in. All of a sudden, he's out there kicking in a game, and nobody knew who he was. And like I said, Boomer was the big sexy transfer. He ends up being the starter. He's back. But you watch this Moore guy in practice, and he just continues to quietly produce. So much so, Mike, that I always get nervous about what we're supposed to say in practice and required periods and all that. But so much so where when they did some competitions in practice where players had to choose who they were backing, there weren't as many maybe backing the guy you would think.
No, there's definitely I don't know, a red flag with the I don't want to say loyalty, just with the support of the success of what Colton Boomer's done. And we say, you saw some of that in practice, and players are supposed to divide up and choose which kicker they have the most, and it was pretty obvious. And there is definitely
I'm letting you get in trouble, not me.
I think you said it well, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I mean, if you look back from that first year when he was at UCF, where he was so good, 93%, 14 of 15. He has made only 27 of his last 42 kicks over his last 3 years. And again, we're dealing with a transfer. We're dealing with an injury. We're dealing with some expectations here in Boise that are probably a little bit different. So 27 to 42, that means out of his last 42 field goals, he's missed 15 of them. That's way too many for me. Way too many for me, especially when a lot of those are under 50 yards where it should be automatic. We're living in a world where the professional guys, the NFL guys, are going to start flirting with 70 yards on a regular basis this season and beyond. And in college, 50 has to be automatic. So, it's definitely a red flag. Yeah, there's going to be some competition this year. I really, truly believe that. If Colton Boomer, I think his leash is probably going to be pretty short. Coaches would never say that. But if let's say he misses a couple of kicks. And by the way, ever since that BSU UCF game where he kicked the game winner, I'm not sure off the top of my head he's ever even kicked a game-winning field goal since that time. So crunch time, the accuracy issues, there's some things to talk about with Colton Boomer for sure.
Interesting guy to talk to. Enjoy whenever we get the chance to him. He's married, I believe, or at least engaged. I forget, but he is an older guy and it seems to have his head on straight and says the right things and stuff. And last year he talked about when he was injured, he couldn't really work on his form, and now he's had all off season. So he's saying the right stuff to want to make you give confidence that it's going to be a little different this year. And again, I don't even know how much different it needs to be. You only missed 3 field goals or whatever it was, 4 field goals. But and you brought it up kind of there, Mike, at the end. But maybe around here, there's a little more sensitivity, a little more intrigue with the kickers.
You're right. He only missed 4 field goals. But I also think that there was plenty of times last year, and sometimes I like this. I like the 4th down mentality, and I think Spencer's got a little gunslinger in him. But at the same time, how many times are they putting this football team and this offense, especially with a quarterback that doesn't always move the football? How many times do you put this team in a bad situation because you don't trust the kicker, and so all of a sudden you're going forward on 4th and 7
Oh,
from
the
40.
South Florida game, first game of the season, there was multiple times, I think.
Exactly. So, that is it doesn't show up in the stat sheet. Again, only missing 4 field goals last year is 100% accurate, but it doesn't tell the entire picture. When coaches have to spend time contemplating those kinds of issues in practice and in game situations and timeouts and so on and so forth, it becomes anti-productive. So you want your kicker to be automatic. They don't all come automatic. We were kind of spoiled around here for a few years. We've been spoiled around here with great kickers, and we've been spoiled around here, or not spoiled, but there's been some frustrating times. Yeah, some haunted is a good way to say it. So, like most schools, it's a mixed bag of results, and I think we're going to get the same from Colton Boomer this year, and that's not always a comfortable feeling.
So, if I were to set some Vegas odds, I'm wearing my Circa hat here of Kanan Moore attempting a field goal this year in the regular season. What would you say?
I'll take the over. If you can set it up 0.1 or whatever, I'll take the over. I think he's going to get in and kick a couple field goals. Absolutely.
Okay, so wrapping up, Colton Boomer has the potential, but just leaves you a little bit nervous. How do you kind of sum up this last 15 minutes here as we move on?
I love the strength of the leg, and I would love to see 100% on touchbacks this year. There's no reason why you can't get 100% on touchbacks. I know sometimes wind comes into play and weather and other kind of factors, and maybe there's times where they really want to place the ball inside the 10 or whatever. I don't know how they play that game, but the touchback factor really faded hard last year. They need to finish strong. They need to start strong again and then finish strong this year. So the leg is there. I love the fact that Colton Boomer has a boomer of a leg. So I think he's a good weapon for this team, and I cannot wait to see how he plays out when it comes to the kicking and the accuracy, but very intrigued by Colton Boomer.
Skyship says Boomer is going to return to UCF form this season and ball out. I trust him. #boom. So at least one guy has some confidence in him. Colton Boomer, our number 23 player on the list of the 26 most important players in 2026. And you can read all the analytics and details and all about Colton Boomer and his outlook right now at BroncoNationNews.com. Number of other kind of odds and ends topics I want to touch on, Prater, related to Boise State. By the way, I know you were tweeting about it and watching it. We talked about it yesterday with Jay Tuss, but because we're talking kickers, Jonah Dalmas getting out there with the UFL, and you mentioned long field goals. Hey, I know I kind of do it mostly in joking fashion because of my Battlehawks, but I watch the UFL a little bit, and they do have that 60-yard field goal, which is worth 4 points in the UFL. We'll see if Dalmas gets a chance at that, but cool to see Jonah Dalmas. I did text him because he signed with the Columbus Aviators, and the Battlehawks had just beaten them pretty bad. So I said, I wish you had signed with the Battlehawks, but wishing you the best of luck. And he was funny about it. But cool to see another former Boise State guy. And as we were talking about with Jay yesterday, when you're a kicker, man, you're one call away from the NFL, and now getting some actual game tape here and getting some on, national TV experience. There's been numerous kickers. The Detroit Lions kicker came from this league. There's other kickers that have come from this league. So now that he's in this league, and shout out again, Winston Venable, his agent, VSG Pro, for getting this deal done and getting him there. And 3 days later, he's kicking on national TV. Pretty cool to see Jonah Dalmas. I'll be curious if he gets a shot at the 60-yarder, but he's back and on TV, and now closer to that NFL dream.
The phone call that came when we were told that we were told that Jonah Dalmas was going to sign a UFL deal. That was one of my favorite text messages, emails this entire season. Just the fact that he's out there grinding, and I heard that he was out there grinding and practicing and working out and doing his thing. I thought maybe it would have happened a little bit sooner. So there was a gap, and credit to Jonah Dalmas for sticking to it. It's not easy as a kicker because, one, there's no jobs, and two, you've got to go out there and work your butt off 5 days a week for a couple of hours a day. Just lonely. Maybe you can take your dog and he sits there and you just kind of kick and kick and kick and kick, and it's not always fun. And I know there's a community of kickers here in the Valley that kind of work with each other, and it's really cool to see. But the fact that he was willing to keep on going, because it didn't end well for him, we know that. The last part of his season, his senior year, got a little squirrely. The Penn State game got really, really ugly, and he didn't like that. He could have easily gone into a funk and then got into private life. He's going to be successful in doing whatever the hell he wants to do. He's married. Wife's got a job and a nice career, so he could have done all that. The fact that he stuck with it, the fact that he got better, he goes to that showcase in Florida and absolutely just crushes the numbers. Absolutely perfection when it comes to a tryout. That's what got him into the UFL, and if he can continue doing what he does in the NFL, you're right. He's going to get an NFL opportunity, and that's really, really cool to see.
Jonah Dalmas, Columbus Aviators of the UFL. Cam Camper's doing some things in the UFL as well. Hank Bachmeier, I think, is even like a second or third string quarter. Did he get cut?
I'm not even sure he made it to camp. He was on a list at one point, but Ball Game and I went looking for him. We couldn't find him anywhere.
Okay, I know the Orlando Storm was there, but anyway, good luck to Jonah Dalmas as he moves forward, and he was the last kicker before Colton Boomer here. So now Colton's trying to at least this season, live up to some of those standards that Jonah Dalmas left there last year. All right, plenty of other topics Boise State related to get to here in just a minute, but I want to thank Lithia Ford of Boise, our title sponsor. Jim Sturk and Company, Lithia Ford of Boise. You saw the new Instagram video they posted with Jeremiah Dickey and Spencer Danielson picking out their rides. So Lithia Ford of Boise, check them out online, lithiafordboise.com, and they're our title sponsor. They're one of the biggest supporters of Boise State athletics. Return the favor for your next car or truck purchase. Make it at Lithia Ford of Boise. We know Deborah's already dialing into the Sun Cruiser this morning for the knee replacement. You guys can as well. Sun Cruiser, whether it's the vodka iced teas, lemonade vodkas, all kinds of different flavors and options. Sun Cruiser. The half and half is a classic go-to as well. So we appreciate Sun Cruiser. Get one at your local Jackson's or Ridley's gas station or grocery store today. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. Best in the business, folks. I'm so happy the Raines family and Bronco Nation News moved all of our accounts over to ICCU, and it's just been so easy to work with them. And if we ever need to go into a branch, there's one, right up the street, but you usually don't need to. You can do everything right there from your smartphone. Their online banking system is so easy to move money around and do things. And they're giving thousands of dollars, all the time to local communities and things like that. So we appreciate Idaho Central Credit Union. Check them out, ICCU.com. Hey, Jackson's, you can save up to $32 at Roaring Springs when you buy 2 Coca-Cola products at Jackson's or Jackson's by Extra Mile. Again, 2 Coca-Cola products get you savings of $32 at Jackson's. Check them out, Jackson's or Extra Mile. Get those 2 Coca-Cola products, and you could be saving money at Roaring Springs. Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com, whether it's the crunchy chicken cantina tacos, all the crunchy chicken strips, the breakfast options, the quesadilla. We appreciate Taco Bell. And if you haven't been into a Treasure Valley Taco Bell location, I highly recommend it. The menu changes daily. You don't go in there and think you're eating fast food. It's tremendous stuff with the new cantina line and everything they have going on. TacoBellWorks.com, the SOM Management Group, the Nicolason family, just a great family that spent decades owning and operating Taco Bells in the area. And if you're looking for a delicious, affordable, quick meal, highly recommend our friends at Taco Bell. And if you saw the video, Mike Prater of the Broncos sleeping on the blue, Spencer Danielson was talking to the team wearing this jacket, the 40th anniversary of the Blue Turf. It's available at the Blue and Orange store online, theblueandorangestore.com. Fully customizable Letterman's jacket here. And they got all kinds of things going on with the 40th anniversary of the Blue Turf and things you can buy. But the Blue and Orange store has the official jacket. And some of those cold November games, you may want to consider this jacket. All the other great items, if you need Boise State hats, jerseys, car flags, bumper stickers, you name it, they got it at the Blue and Orange store online, theblueandorangestore.com. All right, Mike.
Hey, by the way, just an update. I was wrong about Bachmeier, by the way. He is on that Orlando Storm roster, like you said, with Cam Camper. So
don't come at me with my UFL football knowledge here. Come on.
John and I were juggling some hockey. Hey, we were talking about the CFL and the opportunities, and you're right. I should never dispute the UFL, which until 10 days ago, I didn't even know UFL existed. So I've never heard of the St. Louis Beehawks or whatever they're called, but you keep watching pro football in the spring, and I'll keep trying to keep up to track on Hank Bachmeier.
I mentioned it yesterday, but you might have known it very well if the Birmingham Stallions hadn't had a huge outcry at the last minute to keep their team. There was a verbal agreement in place to move one of these teams to play on the blue this year, and you would have had a team in Boise playing this year in this league, and it would be very similar to the USL soccer team we have going right now in terms of a quote unquote second level professional team. We were people can laugh it off, say whatever, but me and Don Day uncovered the documents through a open records request, and there was a verbal agreement to move a team to Boise. So I don't know how it would have done. I don't know if they could have got Dan Hawkins to come back and coach it or something or what, but you're pretty close to knowing a lot more about it than you do.
I don't think that would have ever happened, but I'll just keep my mouth shut when it comes to the UFL, and soccer would have been 10 times more popular than spring football in Boise, Idaho. So we'll just leave it at that.
Don't disagree with that. I am wearing my Circa sports hat for a reason here, Mike Prater. We have a marketing deal with Circa. We love Circa. You've been down there for media days and things. We love our time down there and our Derek Stevens, and they started as just a crazy friendship, and they ended up loading into a private jet and came and hung out at the James and then watched a football game on the Blue 2 years ago, and it's kind of morphed into a pretty cool deal with Circa. And, one of the big things we promote for them is the football contest, Mike Prater. They have their big pro football contest every year, the Survivor contest, the Pick 5 contest. And every year the pot gets bigger and bigger. And so I want to play a 30-second commercial, partly to announce the contest and to give it the amount of money they're putting into this. But I also want everyone to look really closely, you included, Mike Prater, to see if you see a cameo of somebody that we all may know in this commercial right here.
The biggest contest we've ever seen.
Seriously, what's the guarantee?
They're still talking about it.
I think it's time to put the rumors to rest.
Showtime.
$30 million.
$30 million?
$30 million? $30 million?
That's $30 million guaranteed. 3 contests, multiple ways to win, no rate. Entry starting at $1,000. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere.
All right, Mike, did you see the cameo of who we know?
I didn't, but I saw your tweet yesterday, so I won't ruin it. I won't ruin it.
Well, everyone else probably saw it, but in the opening scene of the shot there, they're showing all these people talking about the new contest in Circa, and you see over there on the left, and I'll zoom it in for you, our man Brad Bedell right there. This was actually at last year's football weekend out there on the Legacy Club on the 60th floor. There may have been a camera crew there, Mike, and he may have not wanted to do an interview, and I may have told the guy, hey, that's a former NFL player over there. You should go talk to him. And they went over there and got a well-lubricated Brad Bedell for an interview on the 60th floor of the Legacy Club. And it was, but Brad says he never agreed to anything. He wants some royalties. Should Brad be eligible for some money here of the $30 million?
Absolutely, or at least a couple of free nights or a big nice steak dinner at Barry's, something. Absolutely, you can't just throw some dude's name image. This is a name, image, and likeness, Eric. Come on, he's got a name, he's got an image, he's got a likeness. Get the guy a big fat steak from Barry's.
Brad Bedell probably had just gotten done splitting face cards at the blackjack table. He is on the video here, and yes. I was just kind of watching. I was like, that looks like Brad. And then I sent it to him, and he's like, yep, that's me. So all kidding aside, cool for Brad that he does make a small appearance in the Circa video there. And 30 million, 20 million for the Survivor. Now it's gone up every year. They've gone over and over. Last year they promised 14 and it ended up being like 18. They don't keep one penny from these contests, Mike Prater. Every single penny that they take in and goes right to the winner. It's winner take all. Their goal is just that folks come hang out and sign up at Circa and get to experience it all. But the contest itself is, they don't make a penny on, but $30 million. It's $20 million for the Survivor. It's just your traditional winner take all in the Survivor for $20 million, $6 million for the Millions. And then the one that Mike Prater is probably entering, the Grandissimo, it's a $100,000 entry fee. And it's a Survivor contest, and that is guaranteeing $4 million if they can get 40 people to hype pop up. Maybe you and me can just split it for the $100,000, Mike.
I would love that. I'm not a good gambler, so you probably don't want my gambling aura or lack of aura anywhere near your bets. But that's pretty cool. I've always loved that deal. Nicely done.
So the football contests are going. We'll be telling you more about them and throughout the summer. And as part of our deal, we will be going down there for the contest weekend in August, which coincides with week 0 of the football season. So you get to hang out and have some free drinks out at the pool and watch all the week 0 games. It's kind of a fun opening way to kind of start the season and for us reset before, the long grind of the season hits. So if you want to come down to Circa, you got to sign up in Vegas, but it is 100% legal to play anywhere we're using a proxy. And so we can get you more information, and there's all kinds of room discounts and things if you want to come hang out with us down there in Vegas for week 0. But again, shout out Brad Bedell, BNN, making an appearance on their commercial there. So, by the way, Mike, another topic I wanted to hit on here, Boise State landing another high school commitment. It happened last night. I kind of teased it to folks yesterday that it was going to be happening, but Malachi McFarland, a 3-star running back, confirming and using us here at Bronco Nation News 24/7 to make the announcement, had Oregon, Utah, California, UCLA, Arizona, and some others on there. Running back from Damien High School in Laverne, California. He committed to Boise State last night. So James Montgomery, the running back group, they're always always out there searching, always getting guys, and the newest hopeful member of the stable here confirms to join the football team for 2027.
Yeah, I saw that last night, and very nicely done. On paper, it's a nice pickup. As you know, I'm always skeptical about these kids in this day and age, and there's a lot of time between now and signing day in December, and then I don't know if he's going to be an early enrollee guy in January, but on paper, he looked good. I mean, the first thing I always do is who else wanted him, and that list is very strong and very impressive, and tells you everything you need to know about what the college football world thought about him. So. Another Malachi headed to Boise, hopefully with better results than the last Malachi, but this one looked fun. And I always trust. I mean, we talked about Colton Boomer and the trust factor. I think the one coach, the one person, the one player, the one Boise State football person that I trust more than anybody, I think is James Montgomery. I think he's a hell of a coach. I think he's a great recruiter. I think he's got this perfect mixture of tough love and compassion and smarts when it comes to X's and O's. I know he had Ashton Jeanty, and that makes you look good, but I think he's really, really good about spotting talent, bringing it in, cultivating that talent, keeping the talent, even the Malik Sharads of the world. I think James Montgomery is a spectacular coach. He's told us personally that he wants to be a head coach one day. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten more interest, at least publicly. Maybe behind the scenes he has, but James Montgomery cranking out success stories again. I love this one as well, and let's see if he can keep him a hold of him and keep him in the Boise State football family before signing day on December.
And you mentioned Ashton Jeanty. This incoming class right now, or the group that's a freshman right now, they were pretty much already signed or committed, when Jeanty was going on his run during the 2025 season. This is kind of the first recruiting class, and he talked extensively with Chris Van Sickle in his article there about Ashton Jeanty and watching that season and what you can do as a running back at Boise State. And so last year you saw some fruits of the labor there, and the results of Jeanty, but in this case, 100%, it sounds like a big part of it was in getting Boise State on the map with this young man was what Ashton Jeanty did 2 years ago. So we'll see, maybe not only from a running back position, but other positions in this class, how much that season maybe helped them. And he does join the quarterback, Cale Snyder, as he's now the second commit in the 2027 class. So you got your quarterback and you got a running back in the fold as the first two players, and we'll see where they go from here. He was in town for the spring game. So if you want to read a full article, quotes from him on his commitment, everything, Chris has that up right now for paid subscribers at BroncoNationNews.com. Coming through this morning, Mike, Kage Casey. He's now a rich man, signing his contract this morning. He's agreed to a deal, and he is going to get more than $1.1 million in a signing bonus, a fourth-round pick. Kage Casey, I know you have some particulars on he performed last week at the mini camp, even though he wasn't technically signed, but he is now in the fold and a rich man, Kage Casey.
Yeah, 4-year contract worth $5.5 million. He'll make $1.2 million his first year. You talked about the signing bonus, and then it goes up about $100,000 every year. His fourth year, he'll make about 1.5. So yeah, Kage Casey's got a nice little bundle to start off his bank account. So this is really, really cool, and it's not bad money for a fourth-round draft pick. And a number 111th overall, went right after Clay Klubnik, the quarterback out of Clemson. All that money is slotted. So it was just a matter of getting his name on paper. And as you said, he went to camp last week without a contract. One of the few that did show up without a contract, but he signed some kind of insurance protection, injury protection paperwork, and got into camp last week for the rookies. And now it's official. He's got himself a brand new contract, and it's really, really cool. Mrs. Casey, very, very cool. They got themselves a beautiful dog, a beautiful young family, and Kage Casey's got a smile on his face, and I can't imagine that thing has gone away for the last month. So it's been a really cool month for Kage.
Hey, Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Check him out online, BauscherRealEstate.com. We bought and sold our home with Matt and his team. We appreciate their help every step of the way. Check them out, BauscherRealEstate.com. Signature Roofing is giving away a roof up to $25,000 to a local teacher. If you are a teacher, you know a teacher, you want to help them get a new roof, go to the Signature Roofing Instagram page and comment and do what they ask you to do on there, and you can get a new roof from Signature Roofing valued up to $25,000 if you are a teacher in the Treasure Valley as we're wrapping up the school year here. And I'll tell you what, I was pushing my kids out the door today, Mike. We got one more day of school tomorrow, but their teachers probably deserve way more than a new roof for dealing with 3rd and 5th graders with my kids. But if you want a new roof, Signature Roofing, a $25,000 value. If you're a teacher, hit up the Instagram page of Signature Roofing and check them out there. Hey, if you need a new fence, Element Fencing, 25 plus years in the fencing company for Brady and his staff. They're sponsoring our defensive player of the game come football season. But decks, pergolas, cedar, wrought iron, vinyl, they can do it all. ElementFencing.com. Check them out today. Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. Locations across the Treasure Valley, the state of Idaho, and beyond. Find a location near you, shopridleys.com. And rowpaint.com. Andy Rowe and Company. Somebody sent me a photo, Bob Berry, a friend of mine today, of a row paint truck outside his house getting ready to do some work. So rowpaint.com. We appreciate Andy. Been with us since day one. And if you're looking for concrete coatings, looking for the interior, exterior painting, all your painting needs, they got you covered at rowpaint.com. All right, Mike, I got on the schedule here, on the screen here, the original kind of spreadsheet schedule they sent out of the Pac-12 football schedule. This came out, at some point a couple months ago, I guess it was March, February. But all it gave us was the home team and the road team. And we are 1 week from right now, or at some point, a week from today, finally getting game times, finally getting channels, finally getting information. There's a couple Thursday or Fridays listed on here. Boise State does have the one against Washington State that could be Friday or Saturday. I'm not sure if any of the others can change or what's going to happen there. And obviously, we're waiting on some of the non-conference games, Oregon, things like that. That'll be announced by the other conference, Oregon and Western Michigan. But we've mentioned it a couple times for folks that aren't familiar. In the past, Mike, you'd get a couple game times. Typically, the road games would be announced with CBS Sports, but the home games, you'd have to wait until a week or two before the game. But what we're told is when this schedule comes out, we're going to get every game time for the rest of the season for Boise State, and you'll be able to plan that last game of the season game time right now. What do you make? It's a week away, and I'm not sure if we'll talk to you before then. Maybe next Wednesday, I guess we'll talk to you. But just in general, any intrigue as we're 1 week away from the TV schedule coming out here?
Yeah, I mean, the times and locking in the days, and you can finally get your tickets because you don't want to buy travel tickets, plane tickets if the game's on a Saturday and it gets moved to a Friday. So this will be the final straw, and the convenience factor is really, really nice. Jeremiah Dickey's talked about it. The fans have talked about it, and it's really, really cool to have all that set. So the day, the time, the TV network, all that kind of stuff. You'll no longer hear anything about a 6-day window, an 11-day window. You'll never have to worry about the kickoff time for a game that's coming up in a couple of weeks if you're planning on it for you and your family. And all that stuff is really good. The only area where I'm really a little bit skeptical of this is I just want to make sure because things happen. And right now the schedule is built by the leaders of the conference and the schedule makers of the conference based on what they think that the season's going to be like. And if it turns out different, I want the best games played at the end of the season. And there's not going to be any room for moving that around. That's one of the cool things about a 6-day window is I don't want to get stuck on CBS Sports Network if indeed, and I know that that's not the case now, but when I could be on ESPN, so the TV negotiations, the TV leverage goes out the window a little bit in terms of getting those high profile games on as many TV viewers as you can late in the season. But I think that's a small price to pay for the convenience factor, not only for Jeremiah Dickey's staff and everything it takes to put on a football game day ops, but also families, 20,000 families that are making decisions based on home games, road games. What time is this going to be? Do I have to juggle this? Do I have to juggle that? I think it's really, really good. I just hope that they're able to take care of the big TV games late in the season when they've always had that built-in opportunity to do so, and that goes away now.
And we'll have to wait for the flex game as well. That will obviously not be included as part of this, but the final game of the season, it says flex, will be a road game for Boise State, tentatively scheduled as Utah State, but could also be, I believe, Washington State or Fresno State, correct?
I believe that is correct, yes.
And so that will be a week or two. And we don't have too many details on how that's going to happen or when they have to decide that, do we?
No, not that I know of. This is all a brand new work in progress. And that's going to, and I love the flex thing because that's going to get me some of the better games that I want, whether they want the easy game, the hard game, whatever benefits they have to their advantage. I like the idea of the flex thing. That's going to be really, really cool this year. Yes, but we're still learning about that. I'm not sure of the exact details.
Another shout out to the Boise State club baseball team, by the way, Mike. They are getting ready to leave. They have a link set up, and I'm trying to find it on my social media. I posted it on my social media. You can go check my Twitter account, and I will it's already on there, and we'll put it up there again. But they're trying to raise $25,000. They've got like 16. I know it's always a controversial thing when you mention Boise State in baseball, but they do have a club baseball team. They qualified for the NCBA World Series in Illinois, and they're trying to get some money there. And they are, they're all it's not a varsity D1 sport, but they are all students at Boise State, and it's a sanctioned thing through the recreation department and the student union or whatever it is in the rec center, and they all have to turn in, GPAs, and there's all kinds of requirements still, even for the club sports. And so they're not the right now, they're the only baseball team you got at Boise State, but they are in the World Series. If you're able to help them out, I know they're looking to raise a few bucks for that. And so they're going to be leaving, I think, in the next day or two. Their tournament starts this weekend or early next week. They did get the 8th seed out of 8, and they have to play like the 2-time defending champions Penn State in the first game. But good luck to them, and always cool, whether it's a BSU team or a local travel team or whatever, to see a youth team from the Boise area make it to the big stage.
100%. And we talked about this last week with Johnny and our show. And I'll admit, until that press release came out, or maybe I saw it on social media first, I had no idea Boise State even had a club baseball team. They don't do a really good job of promoting it. Like, for instance, hockey. There's hockey social media blasts because Boise State has a club hockey team, and they're everywhere, all over the place on social media talking about that. And we've talked about the Idaho Boise State hockey game. We've talked about a lot of other different things when it comes to club hockey. I had no idea Boise State even had a club baseball team, and the lack of a real baseball team around here in terms of a D1 varsity sport. By the way, Penn State has both. They have the D1 varsity baseball team and a club baseball team, and the club baseball team, like you said, is really, really good. So that's the best of both worlds. But everybody here wants a baseball team, and I don't ever hear anybody talking about the club baseball team. So go get it taken care of, guys. Go help raise some money for these guys. I think it's really cool what they're doing. And obviously they've been successful this year. And then go out and promote yourself a little bit better. I think that there is a niche in this market for college baseball. There are fans who constantly say that they want college baseball. I never even heard of Boise State having a club baseball team. So spread the word just a little bit more and get some traction, and maybe you can even be more successful next year.
And here is the bracket. They play on Friday at 7 p.m. Mike Prater is their first game. There is going to be a live stream of this. And I actually have said this a couple of times, Mike, but I actually, when I was in college, helped start the club baseball team at Kansas. And so I was actually a part of this same league and kind of know what they go through. But they're playing Penn State in the first game. There is a loser's bracket, but you've got Wisconsin, Creighton, East Carolina, UC Davis, Auburn, and Florida Gulf Coast is part of this as well. So good luck to the boys in the club baseball. And I don't know if you've been paying attention or not, Mike, to me being a Cardinals fan, but the last couple of days they had this whole tarps off movement making its way through Major League Baseball. All these fans are like taking their shirts off and waving their towels, and it started at a Cardinals game a couple of days ago with actually the Stephen F. Austin club baseball team, who was in this same Alton, Illinois area for the Division II. Believe it or not, for club baseball, they had multiple levels. So they were in the Division II level, started doing that. They showed up at a Cardinals game. It spread. Last night at the Mariners game, I saw they had 500 people in the upper deck with no shirts waving their towels. It went to an Angels game, and it started, about a week ago at a Cardinals game with the Stephen F. Austin club baseball team. They got to go in the locker room and all this. And somehow I posted something about the BSU team needing money, and the Stephen F. Austin team retweeted it and said, keep it going in the Lou, Boise State club baseball. So maybe if they get a shot, they'll be able to, keep it going or something. But pretty cool. Good luck to them. We had their senior catcher on the show last week, and rooting for them. That'll be on Friday. And if you want to help them out, you can raise some money and do that. Mike, Wednesday edition of Idaho Sports Talk today, 3 to 6. You guys had it's always a great show. You couldn't really top last week with Jeremiah Dickey, Spencer Danielson, and Leon Ryan in studio. But you guys have had a couple of good shows this week. What do we got on the docket for today?
Yeah, today we're going to talk a little Indy Motor Speedway. Indy 500 is Sunday morning, Memorial Day weekend, and right here from the Treasure Valley, Stingray Rob is in the field. So we always go out to Indianapolis Motor Speedway live every year, and we're going to get him on the show today and talk a little bit about what Sunday's race is. He had the qualifying over the weekend, didn't work out really well. I believe this is his third or fourth trip at the Indy 500. So Payette High School graduate, Boise area, a part-time resident. So it's pretty cool to see another Idaho connection at Indianapolis 500. So we'll talk a little Stingray Rob this afternoon on Idaho Sports Talk.
And one final shout out. I'm trying to get him on the show. I'm sure you guys will be as well, but we haven't been able to connect on a time. Shout out to former Boise State golfer TK Kim. He qualified for the U.S. Open earlier this week, winning one of those qualifiers and things. So former Boise State golfer TK Kim is going to get to participate in the U.S. Open next month. And so congratulations to him. And we're going to try to get him on the show as well. But Mike, thanks for coming on. I'm not sure what you're saying or not saying about the next couple of days, but best of luck with everything and looking forward to hopefully getting you back on next Wednesday.
Yeah, I appreciate that. By the way, 2 other Boise State golfers still have a chance. Former Boise State golfer Tyler Aldridge and then the current Boise State golfer Reese Knox are in a qualifying for the U.S. Open next week. So if they can get 3 people into the field of the U.S. Open, that would be pretty cool. So I do appreciate it. I'm going in tomorrow. I'm getting my eyes replaced. I'm getting my lenses in my right eye and my left eye. I've had horrible vision for about 30 years. I'm at 2200 with curved corneas. So I'm going to get my lenses changed out. One eye tomorrow, one eye next Thursday. I'm going to get my cornea shaved and remodified, and hopefully we can get back out there on the golf course and get out there on some better vision. So taking care of my old man vision over these next couple of weeks. So I appreciate you juggling and taking care of that. And when I come back next week, or actually in 2 weeks, my vision will be sharper than ever. I'll have 20/20 vision, BJ. You better keep your eyes out because I'm going to see things that I have never seen before.
I was just going to say, all the haters out there that said, what is Prater looking at? What is he talking about? Now they have the reason. You couldn't see anything.
You know. I couldn't see. How did I know? All the mistakes I've ever made in my journalism career, chalk it up to bad eyes.
Hey, my dad was against it for a long time, and he did it, and he's like, wow, I can actually read the ticker at the bottom of the TV now, and I can actually read, like, it's crazy. It's a life-changing thing. So good luck to you. Hope it goes well. Congratulations on that. And yeah, now you can't miss any more putts and say, oh, how did I miss that read?
My golf game is about to get better, baby. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, appreciate it, Mike. We'll be watching 3 to 6, watching 3 to 6 today. Idaho Sports Talk, KTIK, all the various channels there. Make sure you subscribe. We are live on the KTIK channels right now, so make sure you subscribe to both the KTIK and Bronco Nation News social media channels. Listen to them today, and then Johnny will join me tomorrow at 9 a.m. as well for his Thursday appearance. So have a great day, everybody. Thanks again to Sun Cruiser, our studio sponsor, Lithia Ford, Jim Sturk, our title sponsor, and we'll see you at 3 o'clock for Idaho Sports Talk. We'll see you at 9 a.m. tomorrow for BNN, and we'll see you in the message boards and online at Bronco Nation News and BroncoNationNews.com. Take care, everybody.